You thinking about moving to Thailand? How nice is that? I think Thailand is a good place. How do you think it looks there? Is it a third world country? I would love to move to Thailand. Jesus is king. Yeah, Jesus is king. I am doing fine. I'm doing fine. So, back to the story. There is a freedom of speech here in America, yet people abuse the power we have been given. I never abuse my power because I know what it's like to not have power and be powerless. Therefore, the power I use is strategically used to create more powerful, meaningful things. I use my own power to gain power. I don't need another person to validate my power. More responsibly, more power, more control to someone who is unstably mental and or has deceitful checkered past, then no. I do not care if their lives were justifiably taken away, period. But do you know what a sleeper is? Whatever is going on, there are sleepers around here. Give me just a second to look up sleepers, the definition in their words. In politics, espionage sleepers, or more precisely, sleeper agents or sleeper cells, refers to spies, operatives, opter, oper, operatives, don't laugh, FBI, or agents who are deliberately placed or planted in a target country, organization, or community by a foreign government, intelligence service, or terrorist group. They live openly as ordinary citizens, often for years, even decades, blending in, building normal lives, jobs, families, identities, and stand dormant or asleep without actively spying or acting until they receive a specific signal, order, or opportunity to activate and carry out their mission, espionage, sabotage, influence operation, or attacks. Soviet KGB, which is tied to Putin, they were right at the White House. Imagine all those people at the White House just chilling on their lawn practically, waiting, waiting. Black Lives Matter movement. Where were they? Who in their right fucking mind would let homeless people sleep in the beautifulest district? That was so, oh my God. That's like, would you allow a raggedy person, and I'm not talking about them in that way, I'm just being honest, someone that don't bathe, shower, to just lay right there on your lawn for years, for years he allowed that. That is unacceptable. Another 4 years and there would have been no government. They would have overthrown us. Like, what was the what? Tell me what other plan? You gonna bring them into the East Wing and y'all gonna dance? You gonna clean them up? Were you gonna clean them up? What was their reason for being out there on that lawn for that long? You were giving up on America. You were more focused on the money in your future. Politicians come here from overseas and they like, we're doing a good fucking job fucking their country up, laughing at us. China didn't even, I don't even think China even came, arrived, entered America through the whole 4 years. I don't think he did. But he made sure he sent his people over here from dynasties, intelligence people, sleepers, same as KGB. We were spying on them too. We have to spy on organizations. This is why. Imagine KGB getting into a state government system and breaking in and hacking. They live for education, IT, cyber. Y'all should check those and getting into the army, getting into to the military. Until Trump and Pete Hegseth can build a chemical or some sort of substance that can justifiably get rid of the dark, sadistic gene that not only, I believe, allegedly, conspiracy theory, China has brought upon us and other countries, then we must continue as not only ICE, but every government organization that wants peace on the streets. You are burning out these officers because you don't want to face the fact that you don't belong here, and you don't want to face the fact that if you do belong here, that you are interfering with federal federal property. They are federal property. They're not only property of the government, but they are federal property. Each officer is federal property. Do you think they want to lose what they invested in for 8 to 16 weeks or more? Do you get what I mean when I say federal property? And not afraid to enforce these rules. This morning, we we will possibly look at old news. I'll probably make a part two like later on, but I got to do my schoolwork next segment after I interview somebody. But we'll look at the old news and possibly some new news. News about Trump, weighted opinion about the incident that occurred in Minneapolis. I believe it was Minneapolis or Minnesota. I think Minnesota is in Minneapolis. I just wanted, I know that sounds dumb, but I sometimes get confused, and I'll be honest, I didn't research it, but I know what happened. I don't know her name, but I saw the video. I don't know the officer name, but I saw him in the front while she was like in the like across from him, and she sat up there and she twisted the vehicle. You know, I heard a lot of people weigh in on it. She should have had a life, like I previously stated. She should have been at home with her kids and her friends and her family. Instead, she's out battling with a federal agent that went through extensive training, a federal agent that sat up there and created made an oath to the government, who had friends, who had a wife, and you're out trying to take his life because you don't like Trump and you want to resist. Now, this may not have been a sleeper. This could have not only been some type of sleeper, but some type of thing where somebody, let me use this as the example. What ifs? What if something from our technology, because we all have technology right now. What if something from technology that the FBI can't seem to solve right now is causing a control monitor, monitor a monitored control environment where they not only have sleepers, acknowledge people who do not act until approved, but they have something else. I think it's confusing a little bit, but sleepers and them are kind of similar. And this technology is causing people to be controlled. And I think that there are secrets being leaked from government facilities to that are in democratic states. If Tim Walz can get the government, if Tim Walz can get the National Guard to go against ICE, such as weaponizing ICE, I mean, National Guard against ICE, that is weaponization of, that is showing you what they would do when they have power. So secrets are being leaked. And I hope it's not from Vandenberg, because what can happen is secrets can be leaked to the Democratic Party. What if secrets was being released to the Democratic Party and this caused reverse engineering and a new item being made to go against, you know, anything else? So yeah, sleepers and other ones are totally different. I got 11 minutes. Give me a second. She should she should have been, I already said that. Sorry about that, y'all. I believe that what they are doing is, have you ever had somebody that seen that they could get away with something? First it was the COVID virus, Wuhan laboratories, and then we find out that a Chinese woman brought a piece of mold over here that can possibly wipe out and kill our population. Somewhere is something that has not been disclosed by the FBI that they know they can't control with the Democrats. And that is, if they can control the Democrats to act violent, they wouldn't do it. It would be too much of a risk because innocent lives would die. So they are sitting up there controlling no one. I don't think that they would do that. They wouldn't risk that, like that would be a far fetched thing that I don't believe. But what I do believe is how these people, these women, these innocent women that have a life, all of a sudden they click and they start um they start just they don't care. I had 10 officers. I want y'all to not drop this line because I want y'all to know, had it been 4 seconds to maybe 60 or maybe 240 seconds, if it was 240 seconds previously, I could have died. It happened to me where I was controlled. So what was put in that woman's drink? What was it, or what caused her to build up so much hate for the government? It's unnecessary, unreasonable hate for the government. If you hate me, you hate the government. If you hate Trump, you hate the government. If you hate NSA, FBI, ODNI, and every other government organization, you hate God and you hate everyone. There's no excuse to hate the government when the government is here to protect us. Now that it's in the right hands, it's like it's a problem. Every other politician throughout their careers said that they would get rid of immigrants, said that they will have a solid border so that we can live and not have extra crime in the area. Your president, the president you love ever so much, Obama, had children in cages. You may not want to hear that. He had Mexican children in cages and they never said nothing. Why would you keep a child in a cage? They were born so wild, like animals. That's scary. They were born just like animals. And so you put a wild animal in America, a human wild animal with on drugs. Their thinking is not like our thinking. Why else would he have them in cages? And when Trump just shipping them out the country, it's a problem. Why? They all, from Hillary to Obama, they all said that they wanted to get immigrants out the country and that their plan they can handle very swiftly. Did you see any progress from them? Ask yourself this: out of 41 years, have you seen any progress from them other than a weed, which I congratulate Obama for? But other than that, is Obamacare is through the roof. There were there was alleged paperwork from Hillary Clinton being destroyed, the Hillary emails, the Nancy Pelosi scare, the Paul Pelosi scare, like all those agents were over Nancy Pelosi, and they know her husband is a suspicious target too. So why wasn't there any agents there that night? A Canadian immigrant came and floated and gravitated and navigated, bust open the door, randomly went up the stairs. He didn't hear. No ring device. There's no ring device in a politician's elderly home. No ring device. He gives them cookies and milk. I guess he said where the cookies and shit. He gives them cookies and milk, and even gives him luxury to a telephone call. A telephone call to the police. He gets on the phone and he uses his code name, and then waited. They waited together, just sitting there, just waiting on something. I don't know. He has the hammer. He said, "Where's Nancy Pelosi? I'm going to break her kneecaps." Then they open the door, and he just goes bananas and start hitting him. And the police grabs him just in time. He had that whole time to do whatever he wanted to get back at Nancy. If he didn't have Nancy, he had the biggest asset there. And if he looked at the history, he actually almost ran over an immigrant a couple of weeks ago and got 3 to 5 days of jail time. He they said no one's above the law. Jesse Waters talked about it. He showed the officer his fancy handy dandy card, and he must have been above the law because 5 days later he was out. That was almost attempted reckless driving, attempted murder, um, attempted manslaughter. They paid the fine to stay out of jail. Where when I got arrested, they gave me the maximum that they, if it was 3 years minimum, I would have had 3 years minimum with no questions asked. Even though I sat up there and I obliged by every officer and respected every officer. The only one I disrespected was the Hispanic one because he said felony. He wanted to tase me. He was the only one within the 10 people that had guns holding at me that wanted to tase me. I was listening. I was engaging. I was talking. Whatever they put in my tincture caused me to do that. And it was the same exacerbated symptoms from 2011 when I was drugged with methamphetamine in 11 or 12 or 23. Then they tried to do it again in Kirkland Crossing. I left my drink unattended and walked out of my house. And there was an African immigrant. And I don't even want to explain the story. I was set up, I was lured, and my drink was unattended. I drank the whole Red Bull. And then I just started getting jittery. I and he started speaking to me real funny. You know that there are actual drugs out there that can cause psychosis that Africans hold. They get off on making you scared because it feels good to them scaring people and having power over people. That's just a temporary power. If that power was really that powerful, Hillary Clinton would be president. If that power was really powerful, because there was alleged that Hillary Clinton was going around doing some stuff to children illegally. There was rumors going around that she was doing illegal stuff. If she, whatever she was doing, if true or not, if it was true, she would be a president by now. So whatever he was trying to do to me wasn't going to put him in power at all. Random citizens, Democrats, innocent women getting conditioned through politics, and it causes them at random moments to have mental breakdowns. When you are brainwashed by possibly the left, you are never the same. They literally wash and rebuild your brain. I cannot prove they're doing this stuff like this. They're doing stuff like this, but oh my God, I'm almost finished. Hold on. Let me get off of here. Hold on. Let me see if he's online. Hold on, y'all. I have another show. Bear with me. And he is. Hold on. Hold on for 1 second. Thank you guys. Take care. I will be back on here later. Bye.